There's plenty of data out there. Like I use SalesLoft data and a few others where it talks about how the optimal amount of personalization in an email is 25%. So triggers are things that happen, right, in business that you can latch on to help personalize the message, right? So there's a couple of different layers of triggers. One is company triggers. So stuff like mergers and acquisitions, opening up new offices, launching new products, those type downsizing, or whatever. And then there's individual triggers, right? Something you wrote on social, a quote that you had in a magazine, some of your background history, something like that, right? So there's individual triggers, and then there's and then there's static triggers, and then there's timely triggers. Timely triggers are things that just happen. Like, ooh, you just like opened up a new office. You just launched a new product. Like, we should talk because I can help you with that. And then there's static triggers, like stuff like it's just there. Like Salesforce, let's use that as a perfect example. I used to do a lot of work with the Salesforce Marketing Cloud, right? And back in the day, this was pretty unique, but it's not as unique anymore. But, if you went on somebody's website and there was content on their website, that's it, like ebooks, white papers, those type of things that you could download. Well, that was a trigger because you could go and say, hey, Eddie, I see you got a bunch of content on your website, man. Do you have any idea which content is actually driving the highest conversion ratios to your top tier accounts? Because if you don't, I got a platform that could actually help solve that. Like, would you be open to a call? Then there's intent data, right? That's another form of a trigger, which is the intent data like G2 Crowd and Tech Target and those type of tools where when people are actively searching for your solution, right? So for me, it'd be like if somebody Googles sales training. That's intent. Somebody's actually looking for sales training. So therefore, if I can get alerted on that through various tools that are out there, well, now there's a higher likelihood that when I reach out to you, you're going to respond to my call because now I'm super relevant to the timeliness factor of it. So you can actually create templates around these triggers that are 75% baked. And there's plenty of data out there. Like I use SalesLoft data and a few others where it talks about how the optimal amount of personalization in an email is 25%. So you don't have to personalize the whole thing. You just have to personalize 25% of it. And so you could create a template, a merger and acquisition template that says, hi, Sarah, I saw you recently merged with, and that's the part you have to customize, X, Y, Z. And in the press release, I heard where it said this. Well, the reason that prompted me to reach out to you is because value statement. And that value statement can now be standard. And so now, operationalize, say I got my top 25 accounts and I'm following them all on Owler and I'm following them on very specific trigger of merger and acquisition. Then every day I get an alert, an email in my inbox. Hey, this company just went through a merger. So then I open that up. I kind of skim through that, read it a little bit, open up my merger and acquisition template, put a little flavor on top, send it out. That's how I can do some pretty high quality prospecting in a very efficient way.